This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Good evening. The time being 6:04. I call to order the Tuesday, May 13th, 2025 meeting of the Tilton Planning Board. I'm going to take our first case and move that to the bottom of the list. So I'm going to move up. And our first case will be Clark Case Nickerson 2006 Trust, Planning Board Case 25-02, Business Park Drive, map R20, lots 1-2 through 1-5, and lot 11, SPA Properties, SPA Properties Industrial District lot merger. This is a continuation from April, I believe. We have received quite a bit of information, so we're digesting that as well.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Good evening.
I'm happy to summarize what you've received as part of my remarks, if that would be helpful to the board.
More helpful than, at least for me, I can't speak for the entire board, but
Let's give it a try. I'm Ari Pollack. I'm an attorney at the Gallagher firm in Concord. I was here for this applicant in April, I believe it was April 8th, where we made our presentation. With me then and with me now are my assistants. Leo Layton, who is employed with Scannell Properties, SPA, and Dave Gagnon, who is employed with Langen Engineering and has done our civil engineering work on the project. When we're here on April 8th, we presented an application for a new warehouse project that was proposed on Business Park Drive on some unimproved properties. There are 4 properties, lots 1-2 through 1-5 on the bottom or south side of the road, if you will. And then there's one parcel on the north side of the road, 1-11, where we were proposing a surface parking area. And so on the 8th of April, we were here, and after you had accepted the application as complete, we presented our submissions to the board, and we took as many of your questions as we could. We explained that we had a number of state applications that had been filed and were pending for this project. The usual things you would see, alteration of terrain, which is a DES permit that is filed with the Alteration of Terrain Bureau for stormwater, a wetlands dredge and fill application also with DES to affect 2 areas of wetland fingers that come up into the site. And of course, DOT for a state driveway permit because the exit from Nickerson Business Park Drive is onto a state highway, state road. We explained our intention to visit the Conservation Commission, which we did have an opportunity to do on April 21st. I think their minutes may be coming around for you, but the short version is that we had a good conversation. We answered all of their questions about stormwater and drainage and impervious coverage. And I believe at the end of their minutes, there is a note that they were going to send the DES a letter that asked that they just give consideration to the 100-year storm event in reviewing our drainage submissions, which we know that the state will do anyhow, and which are things that we are working on. So at the end of your meeting on April 8th, you made the decision to send our materials off to the town's peer review engineer. It happens at Steve Keach down at Keach Nordstrom. And Steve was engaged by your town staff, and he did a review, and he produced a letter report on April 29th, which I hope you each have had at least the opportunity to receive. And he made a number of comments relating to what he reviewed, what was proposed, and some suggestions and cleanups for the materials that we had provided. And we spent the following week making the revisions that were reflected in his report. And so what you have in front of you is what we filed the end of last week, which is a revised plan set, a revised stormwater report, a conditional use permit application for coverage of a larger area than 15% of the property, and a cover letter that explains what we were up to and what we submitted. We got a letter back from Steve today, dated May 13, that explained that he'd had an opportunity to receive and review what we had dropped to him the end of last week. And he says, satisfactorily addressed the majority of our prior remarks. His comments were limited to consideration of the conditional use for impervious coverage, and he had a cleanup on the amount of square footage in the proposed warehouse building. As to the conditional use application that we have submitted for the impervious coverage, it's not at all unusual that a project within the business park would be large enough and have coverage of an amount that would require that relief. It's available under your ordinance. And frankly, the test is twofold. Are you proposing something that you cannot do? We are not. We are on the approved list, or the fly list, if you will. The do not fly list are things like hazardous waste disposal facilities, landfills, storage of bulk chemicals, junkyards, septic lagoons, gas stations, storage of animal manure. So we're not doing any of those things. So we're eligible for a conditional use permit. And then, of course, do you have a stormwater management plan that can manage the runoff that is generated from impervious coverage? And again, the answer is yes, for two reasons. One, we have the engineering group that has put this stormwater plan together for us. It's been reviewed by Steve Keach, your third-party engineer, but also it's exactly the purpose behind this stormwater alteration of terrain permit that DES is considering. So we're hoping that you'll find that we measure up for conditional relief on impervious coverage. Frankly, the numbers haven't changed from the last time we were here. We just had it explained to us that we needed that piece of relief, which is all within the site plan application that we've submitted. So if you've heard enough from me, my thought was to turn it over to Dave and ask Dave to review the changes that were made from submission 1 prior to April 8 to submission 2 prior to tonight, so that you can be brought forward on what's in your hands now. We'll take obviously any questions that you might have, and we'll try to keep it short.
Do we have copies of the revised site plan?
You do. You have full-size copies that were delivered to the town on Friday. And I don't know where they went, but Pat looks like she knows.
Came on a thumb drive too.
I did.
Yeah, she sent it on our.
Can I help?
You sent a thumb drive on the email?
No, the stuff that was on there.
Where's the thumb drive?
It was
Plans
included in her stuff. And there was a thumb.
It's just too much for them to print it in the email.
I don't understand the thumb drive.
It was, they sent it to her on a
Yeah,
thumb
they
drive.
put their data on.
Oh,
there, like
she
this.
has the thumb
We
drive.
haven't dropped
I
off.
thought you meant she sent us
No,
a thumb
no, no.
drive.
She sent the
Holy
contents.
I hate reading stuff on the computer. Makes me cross-eyed.
So we dropped off hard copies because nobody likes scrolling across computer screens because it's always too small on plans like this.
There more than one copy.
So you've got your own set right there. And I thought what I'd do is ask Dave to go through the memo that we submitted in response to Steve's letter that just explains which sheets were changed and why. None of it really amounts to much, but we want to make sure you understand what has been revised. If everybody's good with that, I'll stop and I'll ask Dave to
I'm gonna say which was in our-
get started on that. You have that?
I did. Sure. Thank you. Ari, for the record, my name is Dave Gagnon, a civil engineer with Langen Engineering. And I'm going to reference a memo produced by my office, Langen Engineering, dated May 8th, in response to the letter that we got from the third-party reviewing engineer dated April 29th. I'll try to be brief. It's 8 pages long, and I'll just kind of skim through it. If there's any questions related to the plans, the changes, the comments, or our responses, I'm happy to answer them. So I'll start with the first part of the memo. These are general comments just related to zoning conditions and this general kind of plan comments. So if everyone has this memo dated May 8th, I could run through it. So general comment number 1 was related to the different lots that we have. So there's 5 lots, 1 lot in the north of Business Park Drive, 4 on the south side. And the recommendation was, as a condition of approval, that the 4 lots south of Business Park Drive be merged. We are okay with this. The second general comment was related to our state permits. We currently have an alteration of terrain permit submitted to New Hampshire DES. We have a wetland permit, the dredge and fill permit submitted to New Hampshire DES, and we also have a driveway access permit submitted to the New Hampshire DOT. And comment number 2 just notes that this should also be a condition of approval of our plans, which we are okay with. Comment number 3 is similar. It's recommending a condition of site plan approval that we have approval from both the Sewer Commission and the Water District. And we are working on these applications. We'll get these to both commissions soon. So we are okay with this condition. Number 4 just talks about posting a bond, a performance bond, in the case that something happens during construction or the site is abandoned. We're okay with that comment as well, and we'll work with the town to satisfy that condition. The next section was on zoning matters. Comment number 1 just notes the variances that we received. So we acknowledge those variances. Those are noted. Number 2 was a comment that we missed, and this was a good pickup by the third-party reviewing engineer. I already mentioned this one. This is related to the groundwater protection district map. So we are within that district protection area, and we did apply for a conditional use permit as dictated by the Tilton groundwater protection ordinance. And basically what triggers this is we're in the overlay and we have over 2,500 square feet of impervious area, or 15% of our total lot area. So we checked both those boxes and we submitted the application. And we do have a very robust stormwater management system. And I will note that the state requires that we meet flows, stormwater flows up to the 50-year storm, and we looked up to the 100-year storm. So we are exceeding the state standards on that aspect. Comment number 3. This is regarding zoning matters. Is this parking lot lighting shall be shut off at a certain time? We noted that in the plan. The next set of comments are related to, they're called planning and design matters. The first one was just kind of a typo on our zoning chart. We had a reference to the building height in the van lot, and obviously there's no building in the van lot, so we removed that one. Number 2, planning design matters, is regarding commercial signage. Currently, we're not proposing any commercial signage, but the reviewing engineer asked that we add a note to the plan stating that we will be in compliance with town regulations if any signs are proposed. Number 3 is related to essentially an easement, a drainage easement connecting the northern lot to the southern lot. So the northern lot is on the high end of the development area, and that drains to the southern lot. So there was just a request that some kind of easement or notice be added to the plan. Yeah, just a plan note that says that the southern lots accept, the drainage from north side, and Ari's going to clean up that statement.
That might be a legal comment. Let me jump in on that. The request was that we add a note to the plan to make anyone who sees this plan down the road as a potential purchaser of one lot or the other to understand that the high lot drains to the low lot, and either they need to be sold as a package or there needs to be an easement to protect the drainage from the high lot onto the low lot. We agreed, we added the note, and it's a good notification to anyone coming down the road.
Thank you, Ari, for cleaning that up. Note number 4 is just regarding our stormwater management report. And in our report, we have an inspection and maintenance manual. So they just asked that we tie this to our site plan application. So we added some notes in our general notes section in our plan set that ties those two things together. Number 5 was requesting more details on the dumpster pad enclosure, which in our detail series, CS 500, we did add that detail of what that dumpster enclosure would look like. There was a question of, there was some hatching on the south side of the building, and there was a question to identify what type of pavement striping that was. The clarification has been added to the plan. Number 7 was a note on the building square footage. We calculated in our previous iteration of the application basically the floor area. So we excluded the exterior wall thicknesses, and the comment was to include that exterior wall thickness in our calculation of the building square footage. And we did that, and we amended the plans. Number 8 was about speed bumps. There are various speed bumps throughout the site, and the comment was there might be an issue during plowing with those speed bumps. We did elect to keep the speed bumps as shown. There are signs adjacent to the speed bumps to identify someone that there is a speed bump there, but it is important to basically the operator that those speed bumps are there for speed control. Number 8 is regarding snow storage, and the comment was just to identify on the site plans where exactly the snow storage would be. We identified 3 different locations throughout the site of where that snow storage would be. I'm happy to go through that if there's any questions or concerns about it.
Wait,
yeah.
My number 8 says.
Oh, did I skip one?
Number
Oh,
8 says speed bump.
8 is a speed bumps, and the next page is 9. Yep, you're correct. Which is regarding the snow storage.
Okay, 9. I got you.
Thank you. Number 10 was a question about the architectural elevations. They were included in our initial application, so we just referred to that sheet, and they're in your plan set if you're interested in the back, those elevations. Number 11 was a typo, so we corrected that one. Number 12 requested more information on the retaining walls, just further details on the retaining walls. So just to refresh everybody's memory, there is a retaining wall on the north side of the van lot and the south side of the main southern lot. So we provided those details. And there's also a note in here saying that when we get to construction, there should be signed and sealed plans submitted by the contractor on those retaining walls. So we added those notes to our details to clarify. Number 13, we're just asking for more specification on a few pipe diameters around our infiltration systems. So we provided that information. And then it's broken down into a bunch of bullets after that. So I could go through the different bullets. So the first bullet on page 6, they asked for some more infiltration data and test pit data. This was submitted as part of our state permit. So we provided this to the town and to the third-party reviewing engineer. The next bullet is regarding the infiltration rates that we used. They noted that they questioned 3 inches per hour. We actually used 5 inches per hour. And this is based on dozens of different infiltration tests we did throughout the site. And it's really high. It's very sandy soil, so you get around 10 to 20 inches per hour, and we applied a factor of safety and came up with 5. The next bullet here, this one is just asking for further details on our detail sheet. So we did that. The next bullet is regarding some notes on riprap on steep slopes on the north side of the north wall. So they asked for some clarification and further detail, so we provided that in our sheets. And then the next comment, they're just asking for further details on a particular drainage structure. We provided that detail. And then, the rest of these are really just a lot of more technical comments. So they asked for detail on geotextile fabric. We provided that. The next bullet is some more information on a clean out, the stormwater clean out. We provided that information. The next bullet, the third bullet, is regarding one of our stormwater features. So on the west side of the site, we do have a rain garden, and they just asked for further details on that rain garden. So we provided that in our CG 500 series. The second to last bullet, just before 14, we have 4 water quality units on site. And this is basically to pre-treat any stormwater before it goes to our infiltration systems. They just asked for more performance criteria on those units. So we provided a table in our grading and drainage details to clarify. So that's there. And then on the number 14, they asked for a call out on one of the hydrants. We showed it graphically, but they asked for additional call out. So we provided that call out. And then number 15 is they're asking for further detail on our sewer connection to Business Park Drive. We provided that detail, and that will be part of our application to the Sewer Commission to review that. And then number 16 was some more detail on the type of fire hydrant. We provided that detail. Number 17, they were asking for some specifications on pipes, fittings for the water service connection. We provided that. And number 18, asking for detail on our sanitary sewer connection. We provided that. And number 19 is basically, they reviewed our traffic impact report. They agree with our conclusions. And part of our conclusions is the entrance from Sanborn Road onto Business Park Drive. Right now, it does not accommodate tractor trailers. So we're proposing to improve that by widening the intersection. And they asked that, if this was, once this is approved by the New Hampshire DOT, we provide details to the town, and, we agreed to this. So, and that's it. And sure.
So by way of explanation, I made Dave suffer through that purposefully because I wanted each of you to have a comfort level that the types of comments that Mr. Keach were making were minor and technical, and they were not wholesale changes to any of the design elements or the proposal. Frankly, his initial letter that Dave was just summarizing for you was 9 pages, and the one that he sent back today was 3 pages. And so when design review engineers go from 9 pages to 3 pages, you've done something right. Sometimes it goes the other direction. Just in terms of what today's letter contained, it was the same statement of his suggested, or not suggested, but his noted potential conditions of approval. The first being the lot merger, the second being a requirement that the state permits, when issued, be noted in the plan set. The third being that the applicant go to the Sewer Commission and the Water District seeking approval for connections. The fourth being that a performance or restoration guarantee bond be submitted prior to the commencement of construction. There's a correction that he notes on one of the sheets, CS100, where we have the building square footage at 52,725. It should be 53,580. We obviously can make that correction. And then his last comment was that there's a sanitary sewer inside drop of 21 feet that we ought to make 24 feet to comply with the state's sewer pitch requirements. And of course, we can do that too. Along the same lines as what we were talking about with the DOT driveway permit, we have more work to do there with DOT, and we will make sure that when and if we get a permit from DOT, that it is matched with these plans, so that what you have now is a sheet that shows the offsite improvements that we have proposed to the state. If they're granted the same way they're proposed, then that's great, everything lines up. And if they're not, we'll swap that sheet out and we'll put in what they do approve. There's not a lot of variables there. So frankly, we think it will be quite similar to what we've proposed, but you never know. So that's where we are. We've tried to do as much homework as we could. I mentioned at the beginning that we did visit with the Conservation Commission. I think you got your hands on some draft minutes from their meeting, which we actually received from Kathy. She was kind enough to send them along. When I reviewed those draft minutes, and I'm not sure they've had a meeting since we were there, but when we reviewed those draft minutes, the only action item that they took was to notify the DES that the DES should consider the 100-year storm event when reviewing our alteration of terrain permit. And Kathy's comment in her email to me was that that's a comment they always make. So probably the state's used to receiving it. And as Dave mentioned, we did check the site for the 100-year, even though the state's regulation is 50. So that's where we're at. We're obviously hopeful that you see progress and that we're in line for a conditional approval, but we're of course here for any of your questions. I get the easy ones and Dave gets the hard ones.
Anyone from the board? I have one question where you mentioned earlier that the north lot drains into the south lot. Is that just by water flow across the road, or are you putting in storm drains and then there's pipes going underneath the road?
The second, storm
Okay.
drains under the road. It's a closed system.
I was just picturing sheets of water going across.
That's exactly what we want to avoid and what the state
Yeah.
will require that we
Okay.
avoid. That's a safety issue ready to happen. Yeah.
On a similar note, does water currently flow naturally from the
Yeah.
north lot to the south lot? And so you're doing a rerouting of that water into the closed system?
Exactly right. Right now, it's just natural sheet flow for what doesn't infiltrate, and we're capturing and redirecting and treating and retaining.
Short-term memory.
You may not have an answer to this.
You got
but
to speak into your
when- oh, I'm
microphone.
sorry.
Sorry.
You may not have an answer to this, but when do you plan to approach the sewer department to get permits for sewage?
We plan to file in the next couple of weeks and be on their agenda maybe June.
Water at the same time?
Yeah, same,
time?
parallel track.
Could you speak to the zoning matters in the letter from May 13th?
No.
No, you can't? Okay.
I can summarize what happened if that would be helpful. I don't want to go off the rails here.
I mean,
It is my understanding that you received 2 variances and that those are the only zoning variances necessary that you were made aware of?
I'm happy to summarize what we requested and what we received, if that would be helpful to the board.
Sure.
Okay. When we started the design work on the project, it was clear that we would need some retaining walls to deal with some natural grade issues on both sides of the road. And in order to fit those retaining walls, we wanted to be in the one lot, constructing some of them within side setbacks. And on the other lot, we wanted to be within a portion of the wetland buffer, far enough away not to interfere with the wetland function, but nonetheless in the buffer. And we asked for the zoning board's permission to do that, and they granted that permission. The other thing we asked for was permission to fill 2 fingers of wetland that came up into the site from the large wetland complex that's to our south. And again, the zoning board granted that variance as well. So we have 2 kinds of variances that are referenced in the letter, for retaining walls and for wetlands. You're welcome.
Are all of the catch basins on the site oil water separators, or is it just going to be a few of them?
See, that's a hard one, so I have to ask Dave to come back.
So all the catch basins on the site are directed to water quality units, and they function as an oil water separator in addition to kind of like filtering out all the sediment. So there's swirl separators, and there's 4 of them on site. So
No water drains off the site without going through an oil water separator?
that's correct. Yep.
Okay. Do you have a maintenance plan for those?
We do. It's part of our stormwater report and part of our application to the state.
State started requiring that of all applicants about 15 years ago, because what the town probably remembers is people would build these things and then they'd disappear. And the state said, that's not funny anymore. And they now require a very detailed operation and maintenance manual that becomes part of the permit and will be part of an enforcement action if it's not followed.
What is the typical lifespan of these devices? Like, are they replaced every 10 years, every 15, 20 years?
Dave, you're talking specifically about stormwater?
Yes, those separators.
So there's maintenance involved, and usually it's a seasonal inspection, and if needed, clean out of the structures. They're concrete, so they'll last, over 50 years as long as they're inspected and maintained. So they're a long lifespan.
Not going to drive by and find a tree growing out of a storm.
Right. So what used to happen was the inspections wouldn't happen, and you'd let it go so long that something would grow through the concrete, or the filter was long since shot. And these inspection and maintenance manuals require these annual inspections so that you can stay on top of something before it fails.
Yeah, they kind of have a lot of that, but this is more specific. So. Any questions from any other questions from the board? More discussion?
I was just looking for the snow storage,
They said they added it.
but I've been gazing upon other things as I go. So the backside of the, what is it, lot 111 on the north side remains undisturbed?
It does. There's a power line easement there for Eversource, so we're staying out of there completely.
Completely, okay.
35,000 volts is so much fun.
It's a good thing to avoid.
Does it pitch to the east? I noticed the drainage swale is only along the east and northern side, which picks up the drainage that's under across the street.
Right.
So is there a pitch to that?
There's a pitch there and to the south. It's
Okay.
it's not flat. It's plain.
Well, I see the elevations going up, but I wondered if,
Yes.
okay. That's the lighting plan.
It's not a huge slope, I don't think. Oh, here we go. So you said no signage?
We haven't included it at this time. If
Okay.
we'll have to come back separately for signage. And it would likely be during construction. We'd come in with an application to staff for what is permitted by the ordinance.
So it's not going to say, Project Winnie on the side to keep the name out of, it's not going to say
I don't
whatever
think so.
Project Winnie stands for. It's not going to say that. Okay.
No. We just needed something to put on the plan, not the building.
Works for me. Not a destination, so
No, I don't think so. It's a warehouse.
cargo. And on the Business Park Drive, the second entrance, that's your tractor trailer entrance into your property.
Yes.
Is that wide enough?
That's a Dave question.
Because it looks very similar to and I'm only eyeballing, so it looks very similar from Sanborn Drive to Business Park Drive.
Yeah, that's a good question. We did run the movements. So it is wider than all the other curb cuts on site. So it can accommodate a full tractor trailer, and that was submitted as part of our application to the state. So
I still like my round table idea. Ooh.
Did you find snow storage?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For the snow storage.
Wow, come on, bend over. They have limited area on the south side, but plenty of area on the north side. If you ran out of space on the south side, would you run it up to the back side of that parking lot or take it off site?
For snow, you mean?
No, I'm sorry.
We'd take it off site.
Okay,
We'd fill up what we've got and then
take it off.
you go to plan B.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
And do you have a location where you would take it?
Not yet. We're open to suggestions.
I don't think they let us dump it in the river anymore.
No, we're not open to that suggestion.
No.
La, 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 la.
Somebody used to dump it on that lot by Sea Light, remember?
What is it?
Somebody used to dump it. They rented part of where Sea Light
Yeah,
is.
yes. Oh, yeah. I remember when it was normal practice.
Yep.
It was always alarming. Okay.
I think we talked about some bladders being there. at one time.
And are you putting cistern
The cistern.
underground for
Uh,
fireproof for?
What have we proposed there, Dave? There is,
Oh, it's above. Is that what that white thing is? Okay.
In the southeast corner.
that's what the fire department reviewed. I think last
Yeah.
time we were here, we explained that the fire department had some comments and fire district had some comments and we incorporated them into the
I
design.
just couldn't remember. I knew it was near that white spot on the map, and
Yeah.
and I couldn't remember.
What's that white spot? What's that white spot?
It was that white spot. And it's only going to feed that building.
They also added
For that
some,
building.
they also added hydrants as well, am I correct?
I believe we did
Yeah,
add one.
This, yeah, this fits
Yeah,
in here.
the comment from the fire marshal was to add the fire department connection or show the location on the building. That's going to be located in the southeast corner where all the plumbing comes into the building. And then they asked us to show another hydrant location, which we added to the plan. So.
Anyone else? You guys
I
okay?
guess so. I'm
We
just,
can bring it back.
So I think there's three things that we have to do: a lot merger, conditional use, and
well, yeah,
if we get that
there's
far.
there's a list of conditions.
No, I have a bunch of
Oh, we have a
conditions,
list of conditions that we-
but I'm just saying, in a sequence, you can't do one without the other without the other.
That's right.
So I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, just in terms of your order of events, we specifically have not asked for the lot merger yet
Okay.
because we need to get all of our permits, including our state permits, before we can commit to a closing with our seller. And our seller does not want us to merge their lots until they know we're going to buy them. So we think we're going to get there, but we're not there at this moment. So what we're hoping you'll do is a motion to approve the conditional use permit for impervious coverage in the groundwater district. We've got our stormwater package. And approve the site plan conditionally, one of the conditions being the completion of the lot merger prior to plan signature. Steve Keach put if you wanted to make life easy, and not every planning board does, you could make reference to his memo, which contains his recommended conditions. Or you could read each one.
He does. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's dated May 13th.
I'd rather list things. I'd rather list things.
This one has the list.
He did list them.
I know, but I'm just saying, instead of referencing, read out. Well, I made a list, but I'm thinking it's pretty darn close.
Chicken twice.
I'm gonna play Santa Claus here.
I don't know if you've closed your public hearing or if anyone wants to say anything.
Actually, I haven't
You
opened.
haven't opened it.
I haven't opened the public yet. I should probably do that.
Just wanted to warn you that that's necessary.
Yeah. So at 6:49, I will open this for public comment. So is there anyone present that would like to comment on this project? Did you raise your hand? Oh, okay. No, that's not. All right.
Is it engineering?
There's one,
Well, hey, maybe he has a comment too. I don't know.
there's one person online.
Yeah, and is there anyone online that would like to make a comment? Someone named Luca? I think Luca is a listener,
Mhm.
observer. But if he'd like, he or she would like to speak, feel free.
I don't recognize your voice.
Hearing no public comment, I'll close it at 6:50. Back to the board. Anyone like to make a motion?
Thought you were gonna do that with your list.
I could do that.
Oh, you have a list?
I do have a list.
Do it up.
All right. I'll make a motion to grant a conditional use permit pursuant to authority of Article 15.h of the Tilton zoning ordinance to allow impervious lot coverage exceeding 15% of the subject parcel area in the groundwater protection district, subject to the following conditions. 1, compliance with each applicable performance standard specified under Article 15.I or 1 of the zoning ordinance in perpetuity. 2, compliance with the best management practices and recommendations specified in the inspection and maintenance manual for storm water improvements appended to the applicant's stormwater management report in perpetuity. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Then I'll let the record show that this conditional use permit approval will be granted based on the following findings. The proposed use is not a prohibited use in the groundwater protection district, and the applicant has demonstrated the proposal either complies or will comply with performance standards specified under Article 15.I or 1 of the zoning ordinances. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. I'll make a motion. Do we call it conditional site plan approval? I'll make a motion for conditional site plan approval subject to the following precedent conditions. We'll say execution and recording of a notice of voluntary lot merger for parcels identified as lots 1-2 through 1-5 on the assessor's map R20. Receipt of each of the following state agency permits. New Hampshire DES alteration of terrain permit. New Hampshire DES wetlands permit. And C, New Hampshire DOT driveway permit for modification of the geometry of the Business Park Drive / New Hampshire Route 132 intersection. 3, receipt of Tilton Sewer Commission service connection approval. Receipt of Tilton Northfield Water District service connection approval. Receipt of a performance guarantee in an amount and form acceptable to municipal officials to serve as a financial surety for A, full and final completion of improvements located within the public right-of-way at Business Park Drive. B, installation and maintenance of effective erosion and sedimentation controls throughout the duration of construction and site restoration in the event of abandonment. 6, the addition of a note to the final site plan acknowledging that a conditional use permit to allow impervious lot coverage exceeding 15% of the subject parcel area in the groundwater protection district was granted by the planning board on May 13th, 2025. Receipt of correspondence. 7, receipt of correspondence from the planning board's third-party consulting engineer acknowledging all comments and recommendations offered in correspondence dated May 13th, 2025 are resolved to his satisfaction.
You all get town driveway permit for access to Business Park Drive from each side.
Okay, so I'll add the town driveway permit for Business Park Drive.
Eric.
Yep.
He's also was gonna update the square footage to 53,580 on the building, I believe. Because it's not updated on the plan.
Does it have to be a condition for that?
I believe that would be covered by condition 7.
Okay, yeah,
Yep,
okay.
that's a catch-all.
And what about, do we need to stay off state and fire and all those regulations in there?
Yeah.
We used to say that, we used to also say that every time we did approval. I don't have my sheet to say.
No, all state,
State,
Federal,
federal, and fire, whatever,
All state,
federal and local
federal, and local
regulations.
regulations.
regulations. Anything else?
Do we need to note there's not gonna be any signage at this time?
No,
Do we put that as a
They come
condition? If they're going to add signs, they need to come back before the board.
and I think that.
He's
probably
coming
said.
back.
Yeah.
We'll say that just to be safe.
We did add that note. That was one of the original comments.
Okay. I thought you made a comment of it, but I'm information overloaded.
So you're not adding it as a condition?
You know what? Let's add it as a condition if they site plan, because they noted it.
Okay.
How do you want to word it?
If they're going to add signs, they need to come back before the board, the planning board.
Do
He
they,
was
or do they
agreeable.
just
He
need,
said he was going to do
They
that
just need
anyway.
the
Pat.
signage
do
regulation?
they,
Yeah.
or do they just need to comply with our
A
signage?
compliance with Tilton signage regulation.
Correct. We don't need to come to the planning board if we're offering is compliant with the
If
ordinance.
you're in compliance.
So I think that's why Steve had asked for a note on page 3, item 2 of his memo, where we made a note, commercial signage installation, if any, shall conform with applicable requirements of Article 2, Section 2.3 of the zoning ordinance. And that's what we added onto sheet CS002.
Suffice to say that they need to comply with all zoning regulations.
Yep. Okay.
Is that it?
That's it.
Anyone?
That's it.
I'll second that.
Motion is second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Go forth and
Say no
Winnie.
more.
Comply.
Thank you for your work and consideration.
thank you for your work. Holy cow.
Say no more.
Thanks for Thanks for the fire starter.
That's gonna be one of the most conditions I've heard of the planning board.
It's been a while since we've done that.
We've had some that, but that's been a while.
I'm sure
Well, that's why it's really
the
necessary to
Anchorage
have somebody
project
like
was
Keith.
pretty lengthy.
They had quite a few, I think, didn't they?
I like Keith.
All right. Thank you.
Keith is very good.
We'll add that to the fire pile.
Yeah, I don't
It's
have
on
any
that long
stuff.
list.
Yeah, it was in the front
Good
of my
night.
book,
Thank you. Good luck.
but I don't have my book.
Because I went to another meeting before.
Hey, let me hit you back in the back with that, John. That'll knock the sense into you. All right. Moving right along. Oh, here we go. Hold on. All right. Next on our agenda is, I'm sorry if I butcher it, Brian Wujek. Is it Wujek? All right. This is a continuation from January 14th, 2025, Planning Board Case 25-01, 115 Clark Road, map R16, Lot 5, medium residential subdivision.
I don't have my original application. Did this go before the conservation is on?
That's it.
Those were not
Well, we have the minutes from January 20th where it looks like he appeared before them.
Somewhere in here.
Is that in there?
Yep.
It's
not a lot.
I just added it to this file.
I had some, I did the same thing, Catherine.
I got April 21. Here we go.
No, it's,
Oh, there it is. Thank you, thank you.
And this is just a subdivision, correct?
Correct.
We're not building anything yet.
What's the zone on this? Residential?
I don't know. Hold on.
Okay.
What is it?
Single lot, medium residential.
Medium residential.
Yeah.
For some reason I had rural agriculture in my head. So I apologize.
I did too, because of that farm up on the corner.
Yeah. Sorry. That's next door rule? Okay. Maybe I have the wrong house. Maybe I have the wrong lot in my head.
Yeah.
Entirely possible. And I apologize.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Good evening. I appreciate your patience. I know this has been a few attempts to come in and present, so and I want to thank everyone at Land Use too. They've been super helpful as well. So, and we're seeking to get approval on a single lot subdivision, approximately 5 acres, taken from the 30 plus that we currently own. At this point, we have secured the approval from DES on wetlands, as well as the driveway permit from DOT. Sorry. So I have copies if you haven't received those yet. Okay.
The driveway permit we haven't received yet.
We don't have one yet.
Okay, I have copies here for you.
That's wetland.
This is wetlands permit.
Oh,
No DOT.
We have the DES, yes.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Can't read that. This one, hold on.
Oh, geez.
Thank you.
Ah, it's like paper.
Thank you.
Where on the map is this driveway going to be?
The driveway location is the driveway location is going to be in what would be the, I guess, southeast corner of the lot.
adjacent to Lot 6 of R16, just above us on Clark Road. Roughly a quarter mile from the intersection of Route
Okay, I
3
see
and
it.
Clark Road. That was the location determined by DOT to approve for the 400 feet line of sight required.
Just so I'm not confused, it looks like on your plan that you submitted, there's a little driveway. That's not the driveway because it looks like it's on a different lot.
On the,
Because your property is lot 5-1, correct? Or am I not reading this correctly?
I think it's all of lot 5.
so our property is Lot 5.
Right.
5-1 would be the proposed lot.
So the driveway will be on lot 5-1, but abutting lot 6, because there is a little driveway doohickey here on lot 6.
That's correct. We are just shy of that, the existing boundary line between the two lots.
That's where I was confused.
I think what you're looking at is Mr. Ryerson's driveway.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
So I
That's
had to
correct.
Not that driveway. Next to it.
Correct,
Okay.
right.
That's not this. It's going to be over here. Gotcha. Okay.
I'm coming in Clark Road.
So,
If you look at the existing driveways that service the house, there is reference on the DOT approval that states those two driveway locations as well, showing a distance of roughly from our first driveway, which was indicated as driveway 1, it's 0.21 miles up from the intersection of Route 3 and Clark Road, and the new proposed driveway would be 0.29 miles. So that's the reference point off the existing driveway if you need it.
It's right across the street from Drew Auto.
Very close. Well, it's actually down a little bit according to GPS. See, if you look GPS, that's True Auto.
Yeah.
And it's down a little bit from there. There's a brook in between.
What is the zone for this property?
Medium residential.
Medium residential.
MR.
Oh, I know where it is. Thank you. I just don't have my book with me.
The proposed is 5.03 acres on the new lot.
So what is the required acreage in medium residential without sewer?
Got their book.
And I
I think
suspect,
it's less than 3.
yeah,
Mine's 3, so it's gotta be less
I
than 3.
suspect this is plenty.
2 acres
Is it
2 acres?
in the medium residential
without sewer?
without sewer. With sewer is 1 acre.
So it meets that requirement.
Thank you. That's all I got.
And it needs 200 feet of road frontage.
Does it have sewer? No.
It's got 200 there, it's listed.
I don't believe sewer goes that far.
It does
No, there's
not.
no sewer
Yeah.
there.
No, correct.
There's no sewer on Clark Road. I think it stops somewhere by the high school.
Yeah,
Yes,
but I did know coming down from the
No,
veterans
it
home.
stops up at the top.
Okay.
it does not come past.
Does not go down.
There goes the
Tom
down.
voted no.
There goes the downhill theory. So it does have 200. Well, that's just minimum lot size. What is the actual frontage? It does say 200
Nate said
feet.
200,
Yeah.
it says
Yeah, right.
200 here.
It
Yep.
does meet the 200, correct.
I have hired eyes. Good. 200 front, 20, maximum lot coverage 50%, structure height 35 feet. There's no structure. I just saw something. Hey,
Everybody all set?
everybody have all set?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the subdivision plan for map R1 16 lot 5, planning board case number 25-1.
Second.
Motion second. Any other discussion? Oh, I didn't open to the public.
Okay.
Nope. All right.
Do I have to
Sorry.
withdraw?
Yes, please.
I withdraw my motion.
I withdraw my second.
All right. Thank you. At 7:15, I'll open it to the public. Is there anyone here from the public to make comment? Are you gentlemen? Okay. Just making sure. Anyone online? No one online? 7:16, I'll close it to the public. Now I'll entertain a motion. Make it official.
Make a motion to accept the subdivision for planning board case number 25-01, map R16 lot 5 and lot 5-1.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Subdivide and enjoy.
Build. It's been a long time in coming though, hasn't it?
It certainly has, ma'am. Yes. Indeed. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Really?
All right. Where are we going now?
Was it during the winter when I wasn't
Wetlands.
here?
All right. Mhm. Just an observation while I was looking at my chart of dimensional values. In number one, I just had a flashback for a second. But at another hearing, were we told that the NHWSPCC does not exist anymore?
Yes,
But it's listed in our instruction number 1.
it's listed
Put
in a
that on
couple
our list.
places in there,
No,
and
our
we should
whole book needs to be redone.
just correct that. It doesn't have to go to town meeting because
Yeah,
they
I
just-
just
it's the
saw it
same
and I'm like,
agency with a different name.
because when I heard that, I remember saying, "Oh, I don't have to say that anymore," and there it was when I was reading that. So,
We
okay,
can't change it unless the planning board says, go ahead and change it.
Zoning
I'd
book
make
is
that
so
correction.
outdated and
Second.
what was that? I'm sorry.
I said I would say yes.
Do you need a formal motion or do you want to? All right. So I'll entertain a motion to eliminate the
so
NHWSPCC
moved.
from the chart of dimensional values, instruction number 1.
It's
So
throughout
moved.
the book. by
Oh,
the way.
throughout the
Well,
book.
You don't want to eliminate it. You want to change it to the correct
New
agency.
New
Change it
Hampshire
to the correct-
DES, correct.
To change it to NHDES.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Was there a second?
Second.
All those any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Good luck. I think you could just go in
It's
Word and
typing.
just
Fine.
find that and replace with. I think it could be that simple, but knowing your luck, this is not in Word. So good luck. It's like in Microsoft Type.
It's Google.
Word perfect.
Word perfect.
It's all PDF.
Dot matrix.
Oh,
No.
PDF is even worse.
Apache.
Yeah. All right. I had next on our
The one we don't want to hear.
I have to recuse myself.
next on our agenda is Christine Dembinski, Planning Board Case 25-04, 246 Caleb Hill Road. Map R lots 3-5 and 3-5-1, rural agriculture lot line adjustment. And let the record show that Christine Dembinski has recused herself and is now at the podium.
Uh, on a similar note, I am not sure whether or not I have a conflict due to the fact that Christine's firm prepared my taxes. So I'm not sure if that
Wow.
qualifies and I should be recused.
You have no personal interest in her property, right?
I do not.
Yeah.
But
Nothing to gain, nothing to lose.
okay, just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
No, that was a good question. No pecuniary interest, I think it says.
No, I should actually.
Do you want to spiel or do you want to approve the application?
Well, hold
first?
on. I'm just saying, do I need to recuse myself? She's doing my
Listen,
mother-in-law's tax.
okay, we don't want to advertise.
Well, you know,
No.
I've known her for how many
Yeah,
years?
no, that's
and-
all right. All right, I'll just keep going. All right, give us the lowdown.
You need to read your
Do you have to do the application first?
It's
Approve it?
let's look at this application.
I'll make a motion to approve the application as reasonably complete.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Hi.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Now you can present to us.
So basically, the long and the short is the lot line that was originally between my two lots. I'm abandoning. It's by that drill hole number 12 inch above ground, kind of halfway right here.
This lot line would be abandoned on it.
And I'm moving it to the little, it's not really a hexagon, but that includes the loop of the road, which will make the 3 acres drive for the lot, and the rest of lot 3.5 will get I think it comes to like 19 acres, something like that. My name will still be on the lot.
Where would the new lot? I'm confused.
So the boundaries of the new lot 3-5-1 will be the boundary.
Correct. That'd be just that little circle there is 3-5 for 3 acres. And for those of you that know me, my daughter built a house there, and the whole sole purpose of this is so she can get financing, so she will be added to this portion of the deed with my name. I'm not relinquishing any ownership of the land. The new deed will have the, as Pat instructed, the easement to the road for ingress and egress. Everything that's in that 3 acres is already there.
Does the new lot have a deeded right of way to the ingress and egress, the private road?
It will when I do the new deed, adding my daughter's name. Pat had me do that for the deed.
Any questions from the board?
What is the zoning of the property? Is it
Agriculture. So it has to be 3 acres dry.
okay? Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what I wanted to confirm. Because I thought 3 acres was an odd size, but it matches
Yeah,
up
and that
exactly
particular
with the
lot has no
dimensional.
wetlands.
What's that? Yeah. Hmm. Any other questions, comments? At 7:27, I will open it to the public for comment. Is there anyone here from the public to comment? Well, there's a gentleman behind you, so okay. I'm making sure.
John wants to answer that.
I will close it at 7:28 to the public. Back to the board. Any other comments, concerns, questions? Didn't reverse that time. Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. I gotta find the agenda. To accept.
Speak
planning
into
board-
the mic, Jane.
No, now it's off.
Oh, now it's good. I'll make a motion to accept planning board case 25-04, a map lot, a lot adjustment for Christine Vinvinsky, 246 Tangled Hill Road.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Well,
Aye.
let's
Oh,
Aye.
discussion, sorry,
No.
discussion.
Could we add
We can add.
that the access to the private road, ingress and egress is added to the deed? Included in the deed?
Adding,
I believe that's in the plans. It shows the existing
Yeah, the-
50-foot easement and then the new 50-foot easement.
Right, but we're making a new lot, so it should be part of the deed.
Yeah, because the original easement is actually for this first house way here at the beginning, because they were gonna do a big subdivision before I got all of it. But I will include that in the deed.
put the, so do you want to amend your motion? Oh, no, we can put that as a
No.
condition. Condition to add.
I mean, I'm sure it will be done, but for the
Cover
planning
it.
board, we should add that.
Yep. Did you get that, Pat?
Condition to add the ingress egress
To the
Doing-
private road?
to the private road as an easement in the deed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
One abstention. Motion passes. Go forth and
Do nothing.
lot line adjust.
New deed.
Are you trying to steal a microphone?
All right. Next on our agenda is approval of the minutes from April 8th. Did everyone have a chance to review those minutes?
Yes.
Any changes?
No, but
I didn't see any either.
I read them twice. But then
I only read them once.
make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Motion a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
One abstention. Motion passes at 7:31. We're cruising right along here. Is there any other business to come before this board? I do have a comment. I don't know if anyone saw the Laconia. They're looking at possibly approving chickens in all zones.
All of those?
All zones. But you have to meet minimum lot size.
Price of eggs is going down.
Oh, I know, but I just found it interesting because they were.
A lot of communities have done that.
Yeah, I only say it because there's. If you drive around the tree streets, there's someone selling eggs.
I don't like you.
So
There's a lot of people that,
Too messy.
my daughter wants eggs.
They're messy.
My daughter wants chickens.
I hate them. Organic eggs.
Dogs would eat them, wouldn't they?
Probably.
That's why I don't like them.
Be
as
chickens.
health officer, I made quite a few calls for straying chickens.
All right. Is there anything else to come before this board this evening?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Just a suggestion, when we have a meeting that day that we may not have cases, we should meet to discuss our zoning ordinances. And I suggest that we all look through them. You will find contradictions.
Carol.
Because remember, when you're site planning, you're also using subdivision along with the zoning and the site plan. So if you look at those,
I'm gonna bring up another dirty word.
oh, I know. We are, there's definitions we don't have that we should have. I mean, backland lot, remember all that discussion? We should have a definition for that. I'm just saying we should take the opportunity to meet and
I
So
I wholeheartedly agree.
study and be prepared. Homework.
There's more homework.
Well, and
Matt.
also,
Rhymes with
I know they passed the workforce housing law a number of years ago, but that's going to come up. New Hampshire Housing Authority has a workbook. New Hampshire Economic has a workbook. Both very interesting, both very thorough. Two of the main questions I can think of the town is going to have to ask is, number one, can we afford as a town more housing, workforce housing? And do we have enough already? And remember, workforce housing is not low income housing.
No.
There's a formula. 60%
I
of
think
the
there's-
median income of Belknap County.
The zoning's gonna have training and you invited, did you? Are we gonna get invited?
No, there is no scheduled training.
There's an issue with the Board of Selectmen not allowing the lawyer to come to train or help out the zoning, and we were going to invite the planning to that same training.
But there's not gonna be that now.
No,
That's a damn.
not yet anyway.
The Municipal Association and New Hampshire Economic and New Hampshire Housing all have classes on workforce
I know, I
housing.
took that. I
that
just
you can go to.
have gone through it.
But the workbooks are great. I mean, it isn't that complicated. Read the workbooks, you'll find out a lot.
Where do you get them?
They're online. Like I said, New Hampshire Economic has them. If you put in workforce housing in New Hampshire, they'll come up.
But it's all changing because a great many RSAs have changed.
If
and
those
they're-
pass.
And they're in flux right now. Some have been approved by the House or have going to the Senate.
But that's still not workforce housing.
Well,
Workforce
there's a
housing,
lot of workforce housing in those bills.
workforce housing is its own animal. Like I said, the
I know I've
town,
had about 4 classes in it.
Wasn't workforce housing in conjunction when they started
big
doing those
proponent of
ADUs and
workforce
stuff
housing.
for elderly and workforce, like nurses?
sort
and
of,
all-
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they passed a law, I think, 2009.
What?
It's been out there for a while. So
What workforce housing?
workforce housing isn't something new.
No.
Of
But
course not. It
because
was,
of the lack
my,
of
my very
housing-
first year, 15 years ago on the planning board, we did workforce housing.
But it's coming, I mean, one of the most important components is that if we say we had somebody come before us, wanted workforce housing, remember, they are required to build housing that is affordable by those groups identified. But
Teachers.
For us, we're going to want to you're going to want to think about having them put a covenant on the deed that requires them to maintain that, not just build it and then 5 years later go, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. And now the price is zoomed up. So look, you can look at other people. I think Hollis has a pretty good workforce housing ordinance.
Would that qualify as rent control then?
It's funny, when I read that, I thought that too, but the law that they passed at the state of New Hampshire allows the communities to do that.
Okay.
To do what? What?
Rent control.
Yeah, it just
I mean, technically it
the
is.
covenant on the
We
deed.
don't have rent control in Tilton.
Well,
Right. No, but it kind of
somebody comes for workforce
it
housing.
seems
you
like
wanna-
it in a
I don't
different
think
name
that's
almost.
necessarily true.
All right.
Workforce
Like-
housing is for people like teachers, firemen, police officers.
Nurses.
It's for
nurses.
anybody whose medium income is 60% of the, I mean, whose
Planning
income
board-
is 60%
Planning board
of the
members.
medium income of Belknap County. That's what it is. There's a formula. We don't need a lawyer, we need an economist.
An accountant.
They have them. All right.
But anyway, I suggest you look at that.
We have the peanut gallery, Mr. John Scanlon. You'll make sure, Mr. Scanlon, that you're at the microphone because this is recorded for the minutes. Thank you.
It's real easy. Master plan.
Uh,
Think about it. That's it.
That's
That was the word I
plan.
was using, but I was
Haven't looked at that.
avoiding.
It should be turned over to
Um,
planning.
Do we have what do we have on our next
I'm
I'm
meeting?
on all those committees.
Do we have anything?
We have 2 upcoming cases
Okay.
next meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat, for this last case. This was a big case. Well, I think since you've been in here, it was probably one of the bigger cases. Lots of paperwork.
Yeah.
We killed a couple for us, but they killed a couple for us, not us. But thank you for keeping it.
Good secretarial work.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Good job. So
Glad I
thank
could
you.
help. Thank
Excellent
you.
secretary, Pat.
At least for me. I mean, I'm only speaking for me, but hopefully someone will beat me if I am
Appreciate the feedback.
wrong. Welcome. And
I have a question.
I will not cancel again.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did. I was in a mood that day, so when someone said, I'm like, I could just use a night off. So sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Is there a form, or do we have a form that when we send applicants to the Conservation Commission that they actually respond on instead of their minutes?
We usually get a letter from the Tilton Conservation Commission, not minutes. I'm surprised to see just minutes, but I'm not because of recent circumstances. They haven't had meetings to formally send a minutes back, a letter back to us. So we usually get a letter responding to a specific case.
I know they have a form for people that want to appear before them, but I wondered if there was one coming back to us.
That's
Mhm.
I mean, on that note, can we require a memo for cases we refer to them, or can we create a form ourselves to have them fill out to provide comments if that's easier than them?
We
creating
do
their own
have a
form?
memo for them. We do have a form that applicants fill out,
No, but
ready for the Conservation Commission when they go.
right. But I'm talking about for the Conservation Commission to provide to us after the fact, just to close the loop.
I think it was just strange circumstances with not having meetings and health and things like that that were going on. So it's very unusual. Every single case we've gotten feedback from the
Yeah.
Conservation Commission. I can check in tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else before the board?
Motion
Motion to
to
adjourn.
adjourn?
Second.
Second. Any discuss? I can't discuss. All those in favor? Say
We could
Up-
discuss it.
Opposed? Abstention? We are adjourned at 7:42. Thank you.
This conference